You're listening to the DTF podcast, Down to Fitness, where we turn personal trainers into fitness professionals. We're your hosts, Dayton McPherson and Kyle Radune. What's up, everybody? So you've made a contact, maybe you haven't made an appointment, or you've made an appointment and you've gone through your professional recommendation and you didn't make the sale. Today's episode is all about following up and following through with those people, see if we can get them in our personal training book. Welcome back to the DTF podcast, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Kyle, my brother, what's up? How are you?
I'm living my best life, man. It's finally cooled off a little bit. I think the last couple episodes, the last like 3-4 weeks, we have been at like peak heat, like 100 plus degrees in Florida, like it's never happened, and we were dying. Today, I'm actually recording in about 80 degrees, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Nice. My mom and dad were actually just down by you the other day. They went to a concert in St. Pete. So they said it was really nice and it was, beautiful out and all that good stuff. I mean, weather here is fine, nothing too crazy. It's actually cooled off here as well. It's not 90 degrees every single day. So that's been a lot nicer that in my gym, I don't have to be cranking up the AC every single day and spending all that money.
Yeah, I was going to say my electric bill is through the roof. And I will say your parents came down at the perfect time. The concerts and some of this downtown stuff here in St. Pete is really the coolest ever. Most people only know of Tampa because it's like the big city. It's where like all the sports teams are called. Like the Tampa Bay Rays actually play here in downtown St. Petersburg. So like we're the real city.
Yeah. I feel like that happens a lot in sports where it's like, oh yeah, the New England Patriots, and they always show photos of Boston, like when they play.
Like the Boston skyline.
Yeah, they're like 45 minutes away from Boston. It's not even close to where they play.
Nope.
Before
what's new with you?
Yeah, I was going to say, before we get going, I just wanted to kind of give everybody an update of the gym that we are opening up in New Jersey. Pretty exciting, 60,000 square feet of facility inside of a wellness center. So we've ordered all the equipment. It's a fully encompassing gym. We're going to have small group training, recovery, stretching areas, cardiovascular, group exercise, pool. So that's really coming along. We've hired a general manager. We've hired a group exercise director. We have 5 personal trainers, some front desk people, sales people. I'll be going down there about twice a week. I think I'm going to try to do Thursdays and Fridays. So I'll drive down on Thursday mornings, spend a couple of nights there. We're going to be doing, all the sales training that we've been talking about on this podcast with all of our personal trainers and general managers, and really diving in with them to help build their book. What's really cool about it is there are 2 individuals who used to work together, corporate level, that are going to be personal trainers. And I'm feeling really good about them. I'm feeling really good about all the coaches that we hired. Very, very excited. It's nice to get a new center, train people who may not know the Health Tracks way, so we can really mold them and grow them into the fitness professionals that we want. So I'm super amped up. A couple weeks ago, I was super bored with what I was doing. I felt like I was doing the same thing day in and day out. Now I'm super stressed, but I would rather be stressed and busy than, not have anything going on and feel like my purpose and my why is kind of dwindling. So now I'm like fully engaged. I'm energetic about it, stressed to the max. I'm on the phone all the time, answering emails all the time. Now I've got a 3.5 hour drive down to New Jersey a couple times a week, but it's going to be great. That's what I keep telling myself, at least.
It's exciting. I mean, we talk about this a lot, and I think a couple of weeks ago when we talked about advancing your career, we kind of warned that when you get out of the personal training part of the position, you could end up in a situation like you, where there was a period of time where you were just answering, budgets and dollars and times, and you were doing all that kind of stuff that was nothing to do with helping actual clients and people, or trainers or fitness and health and all that kind of stuff of why you became a trainer. So it is cool that we've come full circle. You get all the nitty gritty done, and now you got a gym, a new team, and you're back to doing the things you love.
Yep. Helping grow personal trainers. That's why we started the podcast, and that's why I do what I do. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, and actually, I have a few updates on my studio. We are clear. Construction has begun.
Nice.
Thank God. Now I get to do the fun stuff where I'm shopping for equipment.
Yeah.
And so my gym actually is a personal training studio. We will do small group training, but I also am including a group exercise room and full class schedule. So in a way, this is a hybrid because it looks like a studio. It looks like a personal training studio, but it has all the amenities of a full blown big box gym. So, studio yoga classes, boot camp classes, like cardio kickboxing type classes. I probably won't go out of my way to bring in any like the big dogs, the Les Mills or the Mosas or anything like that, just because I don't think it's going to be huge for group exercise. But you know what? Pretty soon here, we're going to bring in the queen of all group fitness. I'm really excited about that. We'll talk to her about some Les Mills and group exercise programming. But nonetheless, I really like group exercise to bring in the business. I think a lot of the people that are kind of walking down downtown area down by my gym, they're going to really probably get pulled in more by the fitness classes and things like that. And then, of course, I'll turn around and I'll sell them a shit ton of personal training. So nice. And I think my goal, and everyone keeps telling me that I'm crazy, all my investors, all my people, but my plan is to do $500,000 in PT sales in 2024.
Attaboy.
So, everyone told me it can't be done.
Yes,
you ready?
Yes,
you ready?
It can.
We gonna do it.
It can be done.
And with that said,
so I wanted to preface today's episode and why we wanted to do one about following up and following through with prospects, because I have a new coach on my team. He's done really well for the last couple of months, has had a couple of sales and prospects that have not, or sorry, I want to say prospects, not sales, that have not come and done personal training. And he was like, how often do I follow up with these people? I've texted them once, haven't heard anything back. Should I phone call next? Should I email next? I've seen them in the gym a couple of times. What do I go up and say to them? So this episode is really about how to continue to build your rapport with people to hopefully get them either to schedule something if they haven't yet, or if they've scheduled and you weren't able to close your professional recommendation, how can you continue to build up that relationship so eventually they will purchase some sort of personal training and invest in you? So that's really why we wanted to do this episode is, when to follow up and how often that you need to do it. And the first thing that I'll say is, let's start off with, you just had a consult. They did not invest in personal training. So what's next? When's the first time that we want to follow up with them, Kyle? What do you think?
It's funny because I don't know exactly where you're going with this one, but I have a few different ways that I'm going to follow up with that lead. One, especially if we did a practice workout, I am always going to follow up literally hours later. Say we met in the morning, I might check in after lunch to see if they're starting to feel sore, if their knees are a little bothering me. If they told me in the consult that every time they exercise, their back hurts, you better believe 2, 3, 4 hours later, I'm calling to be like, hey, I just wanted to check in, make sure your back was feeling good. I know we were really careful today and we chose exercises that were safe and effective for your back, but you never know. And if you get a little tight, I really want to make sure that, I'm there to help you beyond this. And then usually what happens is they go, no, actually my back felt pretty good. I really appreciate you following up. If you have someone in pain like that, that follow-up puts them at ease. It brings their guard down. And we talk about in sales all the time, the only way that we're going to get that sale is when we can get them to be relaxed and put their guard down and be a little more open to us. So that very first follow-up for me is right away to see how they felt. Soreness, tired, exhaustion. Are they hungry? Are they lightheaded? Did they have to go home from work early because it was too hard? Those things I want to find out pretty much the right away. And if I'm not necessarily talking to them that day, it's definitely going to be the first thing the next day to see if they have some of that soreness setting in. We worked out yesterday. It was your first time. I know you can get really sore. Talk to them about drinking enough water, getting their steps in, getting them to move and not just sit on the couch. And so those things I try to navigate post-workout type follow-ups. And then we can get into more like beyond that, but I don't know, where do you follow up first?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say is if it was in the morning that we did a consult, I will try to reach back out to them same day and see if I can get them on the phone. I'll probably call them. I know that we live in a digital age. I'm still comfortable calling people on the phone. Even if they don't pick up the phone, I'll still leave some sort of a voicemail. Um, just asking them the same questions, Kyle. Like, did you feel any pain? What was your favorite part of the workout? How did you recover over the last couple hours? Are you super exhausted? Are you super tired? Just asking them questions. Did you have any questions about the workout that we did? I can't wait to see you next time. Notice that when Kyle and I are following up with these individuals, that we're not trying to necessarily make a sale on the phone. You've already tried to do that in your consultation, and maybe they gave you the, I'll think about it or whatever. And, we've done that in previous episodes and covered all those, how to overcome the objections. But again, this is just trying to build rapport in a relationship. I'm not trying to sell you personal training over the phone. I already tried to do that in person the other day. So I'm going to call them. It depends on if you have a different relationship with this person and you want to text them. I don't know what you think about that, Kyle. Are you more going to call, text, email? I think that's important to kind of touch on after a consult.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think in today's world, I don't know that there's a wrong answer anymore. If you asked me in the peak of my personal training days, 2015, 2016, I actually was a little more against the text message. I thought it was too informal. It was too unprofessional. We were 10, 15 years into text messaging becoming like the number one way of communication. Fast forward another 7 to 10 years, I think people actually get annoyed when their phone rings more often than not.
Sure.
So I've taken that back a little bit and I've been more of a texter. So I still believe phone calls are the most professional. So to give you a little nuance here, if we worked out that day, I'll just shoot you a text after lunch. Be like, hey, on my lunch break today, just wanted to make sure you were still feeling good. Make sure you eat, hydrate, water. If you have any questions, please shoot me a text back or call me. If I'm, with a client, I'll call you right back. And, simple. If I don't hear back from them later that day or the next day, then I will call and say, hey, I didn't hear back from you. I just want to make sure you are doing well, so on and so forth. You told me about that knee. Boom. And then I, again, touch points, reminding them, kind of feeding them back what they gave me to let them know how much I care, because they don't care how much I know until they know how much I care.
Hey, attaboy. Well, what's interesting about what Kyle just said, you had mentioned their knee, like just asking questions based on what you spoke about in the consultation. So we are still referring back to their heartstrings, like what was important to them, what their goals were too. And it can just be one. If you're going to do a text message, you don't have to do your X, Y, and Z, as we've talked about with our professional recommendation. Hey, Kyle, I just want to check in to see how you felt after our workout. I know that you said your goal was to lose 30 pounds before the wedding that's coming up. Just want to make sure that we can help get you to those goals. Hope to see you in the gym the next couple of days, whatever that it might be. And again, I'm not trying to say to them, hey, you're going to sign up for that program that I recommended for you, right? And maybe some people do that. I just don't see the benefit in it. If they've already said no to you 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago, I don't think they're going to say yes over a text message.
No. And well, ultimately, anytime I'm asking for a sale, it better be as personal as possible. So I just went on that whole thing about professionalism and call versus text. I need at least a phone call because I would prefer to sell you in person. And I mean, this is me personally. I don't love being on the phone. And
Same.
in person, I am very good at reading your energy, your facial expressions, that feeling. And I can play into those feelings and into those heartstrings. I don't want to be an aggressive salesman, but to kind of get what I want to pull out, what I want to pull out.
Right.
On the phone, you can say something and be rolling your eyes on the other end without me knowing. And it's a lot harder for me to say the right things.
Sure.
I also, to add to that, I like to talk about the emotional bank account here, because when you ask for a sale, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but when you ask for a sale, you automatically have cleared out any rapport that you had leading up to the sale. So if you're going to ask for the sale, I want to spend as much time as possible and ask for the sale as far down the road as I can, because the further I can kick that can down the road, the more likely I can get a yes. If I ask you one thing, if I have one touch point and I showed you I cared one time and I just turned around and said, so you want to buy? You now don't feel that I gave a shit about you in the first place. I
Right.
only asked about how you feel because I was just trying to get to my sale.
Right.
That's some bullshit. If you truly care about people, you ask why and what that what you want to care about, what you're worried about, how you're going to help them, and move on. Follow back up. How you feeling? Follow back up. What's next? What's new? We know 17 touch points it takes to build rapport with a potential sale.
Yeah.
So and we've talked about this before, sit down in the consult. Leading up to the consult, I had a couple touch points. The consult's another touch point, a couple touch points after that. We're still only at 7. Okay. I got 10 more to go.
Yep.
On average.
That's why it's so hard to make a sale during your first consultation, even if you've talked to them on the phone or you've texted previously or you've met them before. It's like if you're closing at a 33 to 50%, you're probably pretty good at sales then for the most part, because it usually does take 17. Like that's studies that they've done, 17 touch points to build relationships and rapport with people. So if you're doing it after 3, damn, you've listened to the DTF podcast and you've listened to what we have to say. No, I'm joking.
You've built so much value
Correct.
in what you said that they put that value, those pennies, those dollars, and they put it in the bank account. And when I say the emotional bank account, what I'm trying to do, metaphorically speaking, is keep building so much value, so much money that you put so much in your emotional bank account that you're rich. And if you have a very rich, wealthy bank account, and I ask you to work with me, you don't question taking that little bit of money off the top of your bank account because it was overflowing with value. And you're going to spend that on me. If you have nothing in the bank account and I ask you, anyone know what it's like when they get calls for collections? Okay. It's a shitty feeling. You want to hang up. You want to curse at them. You want to be rude. So get the response you want by earning it. Just keep depositing, because one day they absolutely are going to throw it at you because you've built up the value.
Yep. Love it. Okay. So you followed up, whether it be that day or the next day. Let's talk about if you're in a larger box gym, like what's the next follow-up we want to do? If let's say we heard from them, do we go 2 days, 4 days, 5 days? How long until we follow up with this same individual again? For me, it's probably going to be 2 to 3 days that I'll follow up again. The phone call or the text may be a little bit different. What I'm going to ask them is, how are their workouts going? If they're a new member and this consultation or onboarding was part of their membership, have you come into the gym over the last 2 or 3 days? And what have you been doing? And how have you been feeling? So I'm going to check in on their usage in the gym. If any of you out there in a larger box or bigger corporation, you should be able to see how often this member is checking into the gym. If it's been 3 days and you notice 0 check-ins, I'm calling them, asking them, trying to, I don't want to use the word trap them in a lie, but I want to kind of call you out in a nice way and say, hey, it's Dayton at Health Tracks. I just want to check in, see how your workouts have been going at the gym. Pause, wait for an answer. Oh, I haven't been able to come in over the last couple of days. My schedule's been really busy. Oh, okay. Well, if you remember in the consultation, you and I had discussed what your schedule is going to look like, where you told me that you were going to be able to come in Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Tomorrow is Friday. What time are you going to come into the gym? Pause. See what they say. Hopefully they'll be like, you know what? I definitely need to make time and come in. If they're like, oh, I can't this Friday. Okay, well, we also agreed Saturday. Are you going to be here on Saturday? I'll be here. Again, what time are you going to come in? I'll make myself available just to say hi, not to give you a workout or anything like that, just for another touch point. So Kyle, what do you think about that?
I love that. And I think it's really important to point that out, that you are not trying to make the sale there. You are making time to be available to say hello, not to work out with me.
Right. Exactly.
Because that's building that rapport of, you are just trying to meet a friend at the gym.
Yep.
That's what it should feel like. not, oh, my trainer's trying to get me to come in for another session, because that's going to push them away. But
Yep.
what you did was you welcomed them in with open arms. You said, hey, I'm here for you, bud. Support you. Come on down. I'm just going to, say hi, cheer you on, and let you go do your thing.
So let's talk about it in a studio. So we touched on a big box gym. If you're a studio and they have to invest in personal training, even to use the facility, a lot of the times that we'll hear people say, I'm going to check out some other gyms in the area before I make my decision. So I'm still calling them 2 or 3 days later and asking them, were you able to check out some other facilities that were in the area? Did you find anything that might meet your needs a little bit better? And most of the time I'll hear from people, oh, I haven't had time to go around. And then I'll refer back to their goals. I know that you said that starting your goals was very important to you immediately. You wanted to start today. That's why I feel like this is a good place for you. If you want to come in for a complimentary workout for the day and they just want to like work out in your open space or something like that, let them touch and feel what it's like to work out in your studio, maybe on their own, because they probably don't know exactly what to do. So how can I get them back into my place? And then if they don't come in and it's been probably a week in the studio, I'll call them again. So now I'm at the day after, 2 or 3 days later, and then 6 to 7 days later. So let's talk about in a studio, or not studio, in a big box. The individual does come in on that Saturday. What does that conversation look like, Kyle? Where do we start with them? Do we just walk up and be like, you ready for me to show you some exercises? Or are we just kind of talking to them? What do we do?
So I think you had said it before, is that you were just coming in to say hello, make them feel at home, and kind of welcome them back. So I think you kind of answered that one, but I wanted to go back a little bit because you had said something really important there. They were going to go shop at other gyms.
Yep.
And you were going to let them go for a couple of days. So I'm going to challenge you here. That person came down. They're sitting in front of you. They made it to the gym. They got inside the gym. They met with the trainer. They told you they were going to go shop at other places. Right then and there, I'm going to say, where else are you going? I want to know the competitors that you're going to talk about. Yep. Because right here, you just told me that you need X, Y, and Z from a facility. And now this only works if you really are the right fit. I want to be clear. I'm not lying to people to make it sound like I'm the best gym because I'm the best gym. If I know that I'm the best fit for them, and you're going to tell me you're going to go down to some of my competitors, I know my competitors. And good business will tell me that I can tell you exactly what they offer and if that's going to be the right fit for you. So I'm going to have this conversation. Oh, you want private? You want these types of machines? Well, hey, I can save the trouble. Oh, down the street, they have XYZ. They do machine-based training. They have classes. They don't have personal training. You mentioned that you needed a coach to show you how to do exercise so you don't get hurt. So I can save you the trouble from driving down to, JoJo's Family Fitness because they don't have personal trainers there.
Right.
Oh, great. I can save you the time. The time's really important to you. I don't want you just driving around the city. Down the street, there is a personal training studio just like us. There's someone probably just as good as me. I'll be honest. You told me that this is the closest gym to your facility, to your home. You told me that committing to time was going to be a challenge. So if they are just like me and we have the same amenities, but I'm going to tell you I'm $5 cheaper, guess what? I'm going to save you the trouble and you can stay right here. And I can promise you, if you go over there tomorrow and it's a better deal, I'll give you a refund.
I do
now
that
I'm
all
getting
the
a
time.
little ballsy because
I do too.
This is the stuff I'm challenging. I don't even want you to leave my building to go look at the competitors. So that I'm going to lay that groundwork. Then I am going to call the next day and say, hey, how was JoJo's Family Fitness? Oh, you signed up there? Great. I wish the best of luck to you. Yada, yada, yada. If it doesn't work out, you can always call me. I'm still right down the road from you.
Right. Oh, I know every single gym that's in my area. How much do they charge? I probably know 50% of the personal trainers that work there, what their certifications are. I've probably worked with
They're probably
them, ex-employees, all that good stuff. It's like, you want to go to this place, it's $29 a month. There's no personal trainers. You want to go to that place, there's one personal trainer. They only offer group exercise classes. It's in a warehouse and they don't have air conditioning and all the floors are just cement. You want to go to that place, they offer silver sneakers. Oh, there's no pool. The personal trainers are what they cost. So, I can go here for $20 less an hour. Yes, you can. You can. And then the other place is, someone that is a bodybuilder, really, really smart guy. Most of it is machine based. There's no functional exercise. There's no group exercise classes. There's no cardio. And I know
And
all of
if,
that.
and if those are all the things they told you they wanted, and again, this is not us lying to be like, we're going to trap them into a sale in our facility. No, if you told me all these things are important to you, I can check all the boxes, and I'm not lying when I say my competitor can't.
Right.
And with a Google search, they'll just go home and find out you're right. So it's like,
exactly.
They don't even have to now drive around. So you just did them a favor.
So our prospector console is now in the gym. It's on that Saturday day that we talked about. We want to say hi to them. The first thing I'm going to do is walk up to them if they, if I missed them when they walked in. Hey, if you need anything, I'm here. Just go ahead and ask for help. And then I'm walking away. That's all I'm doing, because they probably won't come ask you for help. They want to see if they can do it on their own, and they feel bad if they ask for help. So, just walk away, and that's your touch point. That's it. And then after they leave, hey, hope you had a great workout. That's it. That's all you have to do. Super, super simple. So I've gotten 2 touch points right there. The next time that they come in, hopefully now they're a little bit more consistent because you're their little rah-rah cheerleader. So I would go up to them and say, hey, what are you training today? What are you working on? What exercises are you going to do? If you need any form checks or you need some exercise recommendations, please let me know. Walk away again. They're probably, again, not going to ask for anything because they're like, oh, I know what to do. I've been working out for a long time. Another day goes by. Maybe they come in again. Now I'm going to start asking them questions like they're my friend and we've known each other for a long time. And we're going to use a which close. If you remember from our professional recommendation episode, we want them to pick an answer. So it could be like, hey, Kyle, I got a question for you. Who is a better basketball player, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? We're having a debate. And Kyle would answer, hey, Kyle, was Tom Brady a better quarterback when he was on the Patriots or when he was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Because I know Kyle is a Bucs fan. So, or no, Kyle's a Miami fan.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
Yeah, they're both in Florida. Okay.
But living in the greater Tampa Bay area, they are definitely my hometown team now. So when Brady left, I went rah-rah for the Bucs. As long as they don't play the Dolphins, we're good.
All right. So I'm just trying to get Kyle to engage in a conversation that we're having. We do this all the time at my facility where the music that we'll play will be like, oh, the Beatles are on. I don't like the Beatles. Yeah. DM me in the comments. I've never liked the Beatles, and be like, oh God, like the Beatles came out and everybody loved them just because they were the first people to do it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, do you like the Beatles? Get an answer. And most people who are in my facility, maybe a little bit older, oh, the Beatles are great. Bah, 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 bah. Then it starts a conversation.
People are just supposed to say that because they don't want to say no.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. So we're just trying to get them to be involved with us. If you do that enough and you create touch points with those individuals, eventually, like Kyle said, with your emotional bank account, you can start to ask for the sale again. But you have to follow these steps. It can't just be on the phone the next day. Hey, did you want to invest in that personal training? It has to be down the road after you continue to build up this rapport. And you have to remember that these interactions are supposed to be leading somewhere. Don't just keep interacting with people and forget that your job is to train people and earn money. So eventually you have to be brave and re-ask for the sale. Hey, I know that you've been coming in here for a month. Do you think that you've been seeing the results that you've seen? I know that you wanted to work out 3 to 4 times a week. Have you been able to achieve that? What are you doing for your workouts? This is why I recommended you and I train together, because you had told me that you only were coming in 1 time a week. Da, 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 da. So you're doing another professional recommendation down the road, and it may become a sale because you've built up that emotional bank account with them. You're just depositing each time that they come in different ways. So there's my rant.
That's the one, though.
Yeah, I know.
Fill it up and cash it out.
That's right. So the other thing that I'll talk about too, Kyle, is a recommendation that I've given to coaches is, let's say it's been a month, 6 weeks, that person has been coming into your gym, and to serve back to them on a silver platter that they cannot do it on their own, I will schedule, we call them tune-ups. They're 30-minute appointments. Typically in the tune-up, what we'll do is we'll put them on the in-body again, or if you have some other sort of, fat measuring device, if you've got the handheld, or maybe use calipers, maybe you use just a measuring tape, I'm going to redo that again. And with the in body, I can probably 90% say that you have not made any progress in your in body. And then I'll bring them out onto the floor and I will make them do the exact same workout that we did during the consultation to see if they've made any progress, but I won't give them cues. I'll make them do it and be like, okay, we're going to do the squats that we did. Do you remember how to do those? They're going to do them. They're probably going to look the exact same that they did in the consult. Okay, now we're going to go do your TRX row. They're falling back and then their shoulders are up when they pull, and then they're falling back. And it's like, okay, now like I don't want anybody to get hurt. And after that, I'll give them another professional recommendation. So I'm going to assess body metrics, assess them out onto the floor, re-give them a professional recommendation. Hey, I know that you said you wanted to lose 10 pounds. So far, we haven't made any progress in weight loss nor in muscle mass. We can talk about nutrition. Out on the floor, I see that we may be making some of the same errors with our exercises. I want to make sure that you're A, not going to get injured, and B, you are seeing the progress that you want. We also discussed earlier this week how you've only been able to come to the gym 1 time a week when we set a goal a couple of months ago about doing it 3 times a week. Still, my professional recommendation is that you and I begin to work together because we'll be able to reach your goals of blank, blank, blank. So I'm just re-giving a professional recommendation, and all of that can be done in a half an hour tune-up. Yes, I'm giving them my time, so it is not paid for or anything like that. But if you've built up that emotional bank account, like Kyle said, it's probably going to work.
And that's where now this month follow-up, you have all the opportunity to build your 17 plus touch points.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is, for me, now that we're going into that 4 to 6 weeks from my initial touch point, this is where I start to really back off on chasing down prospects.
Yeah.
So I never let anyone go away forever. Once I've had a touch point with you, you stay on my list forever.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to point that out.
Yep.
But I am up kind of really chasing you down, really following up. After that 6 weeks, we've done our second workout. I have a really good idea if you're actually ever going to buy, because we might now have this really great relationship. You might feel comfortable coming up and asking me questions in the gym. I give you a little pointer here and there. I even give you a little nutritional tip here and there. And now we're just kind of going in circles for a couple months.
Right.
Now I'm checking in with you once a month, once every couple months, really when I run into you in the facility. And then once a quarter, twice a year, I kind of go back through my lead list. And then follow up with these people, because maybe now it's been 6 to 8 months. Like, hey, shoot, I actually haven't seen you in like a month or two. Hope all is well. And then sometimes those are the ones that, okay, now I did end up injuring myself. I did try it on my own. Now I'm going to cash in my year of touch points. And 6 months later, I still remembered your name and that you had a knee problem. And I checked in on it and it was worse. And now we're going to have a conversation. And if this time it's definitely like, dude, I don't want to work with a personal trainer. I don't like coming to the gym. I really, turns out after this year, I don't even like you. Like, leave me alone. Now I'm going to probably close the book.
Yeah. So if you could pinpoint the exact space between your touch points, let's see if we can do it. So consult or first interaction, we're going to do day of or next day.
Yep. Within 24 hours, right?
Okay. Within 24 hours.
Call it that.
After that, where do we go? 2 days to 3 days?
Yeah.
And then after that,
definitely no more than 3 days. I would call it 72 hours.
Okay.
Only because I like that window. After 3 days, I think people start to be like, oh, I actually forgot I had that appointment last week. So if I met you on a Monday and I hit you up Wednesday, Thursday, it's still pretty fresh in your brain. If I meet you on like a Wednesday and I don't call you till next Monday, like you've had a whole nother week of life to like separate. So I want it to be somewhat fresh in your brain.
After that, how long do we go? A week?
Yeah.
1 to 2 weeks. No more than a week, maybe. And then after that, 30 days, 21 days, So a range, I mean, and then
It's
after
almost
that,
like between each touch point, like it's exponentially like doubling. So like it's
right.
like 1 to 2 days, then 2 to 4 days, then 4 to 8, 8 to 16,
Okay.
16 to 32.
All right.
And I
I
just
like
made that
that.
up on the spot. And I actually like that flow because
I
it's
do too.
very frequent in the beginning. In the middle, it starts to spread apart. And at
And
the
then by
end,
the end, it's big.
there's oceans
Right.
miles away from each
Yep.
other.
But that could be outside interactions. If they're in the gym all the time, I would probably try to hit them up each time that they come in here. So that's like call, text, emails, things like that. But if I
Yep.
see them every single day, it might be a hi, how are you? That's still a touch
Oh,
point. Yeah.
so I'm glad you said that. When you're talking about follow-ups and follow through, I'm assuming that you haven't seen them in the hallway.
Okay. Great. Awesome.
I finished my work day. I'm sitting at my desk. I have my to-do list. I'm texting and calling now.
Mm.
I guess I didn't mention this because my assumption is if you see someone in your facility that you know and you don't say hi, you just empty the bank account anyways.
Yeah.
Like how
True.
stupid.
Yep.
You're going to spend all this time scheduling out calls for the next 45 days, but you're going to walk by them in the hallway. Like, come on. So I'm assuming that when you're in the gym, going back to another one of my favorite terms, running for mayor, if you are in the facility and there is a human there that you know their name and you don't interact with them, shame on you.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Shame on you because you should have hundreds of touch points every single day in your facility with no effort.
Yeah.
These are in addition to.
Absolutely.
So there's my finishing rant.
And then I guess my last question is, when do we stop communicating with them if we haven't reciprocated communication? So I have called, texted, or emailed blank number of times, and I haven't seen you in the gym. Where is a hard stop in terms of communication?
We talking like borderline harassment? Like they're ignoring your calls. They don't even answer you. They don't show up at the
Correct.
gym.
Yeah. Yep.
I like the 3 strike rule here.
Okay.
I texted you. So what? People miss text message all the time.
Sure.
I probably left Dayton on red sometime this week. It happens. We're busy. Shit happens.
I don't.
The second one is maybe it's the phone call and you're like, okay, you didn't answer me. I missed the call. And maybe it's another text or another phone call. If that's like 3 times in like a week or 2, I'm pretty much done. Maybe it's another month or 2. And
that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Hey, I hope I'm not bothering you. We lost touch a little while ago. Your membership is still active. I would love to see you take advantage of it. If I can help you with canceling it, I can do that as well. And the reason I mention that is I think some like investment owner type folks would be like, you reached out to a member to stop taking their money. I'm not in the business of free donations. I'm not Planet Fitness. I'm not Anytime Fitness. I charge you more than $10 a month because I don't want free money. I just don't. I don't care. And I'll tell you right now, if I can call you and just cancel your $40 a month membership or whatever it is, that person feels amazing. Because anyone that's ever tried to quit a gym before is the reason why they haven't joined your gym today.
Yeah.
Because no one doesn't sign up for the $10 a month or the $40 a month or the $80 a month even. They don't sign up because 7 years ago, some corporate chain made them go get a certified letter, like notarized, handwritten, signed in person with a 90-day notice to cancel their 12-month contract. Okay, because that's where fitness was.
Yep.
So be nice to people. Let them out of their deals. Send them on their way. They'll come back. Because if you screw them, now
they'll never come back.
They'll burn that bridge, and then they're going to go to the next gym down the road.
Yeah. Gym hoppers.
Keep them, because if you called and canceled my gym membership for me, why would I sign up with another gym? Because I know I can get out of this one really easy.
Right. Yeah.
But I'll be back.
I'll come back. Yeah.
I'll take that over never coming back.
Right. Agreed.
So sorry, that was an extra little tangent at the end of this episode.
That's fine.
But
I'm good with this episode. I think we touched on a lot of good things. We discussed how often that you should be following up. And like Kyle said, we've got that exponential, which I really liked, Kyle. Kudos on you for coming up with that off the top of your head. When to stop after, 3 non-communication from them, maybe wait a month, making touch points on the fitness floor with them. Hey, how are you? Great to see you again. Let me know if you need any exercise recommendations. Trying to set something up with them if you do see them on the fitness floor, maybe 30 days out for a tune-up where you just review some of the things that you did last time. And if I could summarize everything that we've talked about today, it's really just about investing in the emotional bank account so you can ask for the sale and make a withdrawal and get a new client. Good way to end.
I'm leaving it there. Drop your
All
mic.
right, cool. Awesome. Thank you for joining, everybody. See you later.